Your silence is making a lot of noise, everybody. Welcome to the Mindset Elevator. I hope you guys are feeling awesome, taking care of yourselves. And the people who are watching you and seeing you and who know you have noticed something a little bit different about you these days. You're saying less. You're saying less. You're just not saying too much these days to people who are expecting you to share all the details, to give all the tea, to put forth, to give some sort of insight as to what is going on now in your life. People are seeing now you're tired of talking. All right, tired of talking. There's no more talking. There's no more divulging information. You're not about to do all that anymore. You probably see that sometimes your information has been used against you when you've said certain things to certain people, thinking that it's going to be like a sacred bond between the both of you or whoever was involved. Not even just a sacred bond, but just at least some respect that people would, you know, take your words respectfully. If it was a private matter, don't tell anybody. Like, you thought that these things should go without saying. And maybe sometimes you said it, or perhaps sometimes people, when you told people your information, or you told people what you were up to, you told people what you were building, you told people where you were traveling, people tried to impede these plans. They tried to stop it because we gave them those very details. Now we're all tired of talking, aren't we? We're tired of talking. We're tired of saying, giving the information now. We're tired of letting people know what's really going on. Not everybody needs to know. Not everybody should know. And your silence is making a lot of noise. Your silence is making a whole lot of noise because it's not like you. And a lot of people may be thinking that it's not like you. It's not like you to not speak up or say things. I mean, you probably are an advocate of sorts. You probably stand your ground. You speak up when it needs to be done. You say what needs to be said when it needs to be said. So you're probably that type of person where, if it came down to the wire, you're not going to just stay silent. That's not necessarily what this video really is about. It's more about like you having the strength to stay still, to be still in certain circumstances, and to not let too much information slip through your lips to certain prying ears, people who don't respect, people who don't appreciate, people who just want to spread your information, people who are prone to gossiping, prone to smear campaigning. We've learned how to move around these people. We've learned how to move. We've learned that we cannot say certain things to these folks because there's no respect here, right? It's just, oh, I'll pretend I'll be your best friend. I'll pretend to be your favorite cuz. You tell me everything I want to know, and then I go and I tell everybody else, or I try to use it against you. I try to attack you with your own words, or I try to attack you with the information or the intel that you gave to me. Some people just move like that, Some people are just kind of weird like that, where they're only around you just to get the tea, and then when they get the tea, it's piping hot and it's ready to be served onto others, right? And that's not what we factored in. We didn't think that particular part was going to take place, but now we know. That's how people are realizing that your silence is very noticeable, that you're not making all that noise as you used to. You're not divulging all that information like you used to, right? You're staying silent and you're being still around certain people. So when people come and ask you questions, you may be more tight-lipped these days. You may not be saying too much these days. You don't want to get into it. You don't want to tell these individuals your information, right? So your silence is making a lot of noise. Your silence, you're not speaking on it. You're not speaking to certain people. Maybe you have distanced yourself from certain individuals who you were very talkative with, that you were very friendly with, that you were very open with. That's something I could say for myself, there's no doubt, because I do consider myself to be a very talkative person around certain people because I love to build connections. I love to talk, I like to let my voice be heard, to let my thoughts be heard, to just speak on things, Things sometimes just roll off my tongue. That's how I am, right? And even through that aspect of my personality and my characteristics, I had to train myself to be still and to stop talking around certain people, to stop talking to certain people like cold turkey completely. You're done. You're not in my life like that. or to really be more strict and restrict myself with what I tell certain people, right? Certain people do not need to know my details versus other people. I would feel far more open to share my thoughts or to share my plans, for example, right? I'm tired of talking to certain folks, I'm tired of it because I see our union is most likely one-sided. It's not real, these people are moving like snakes, and I can't have a snake in my life like that. They will bite you. They're venomous, right? For the most part, snakes don't have good intentions, do they? Right? Except for to just slither in your life and play coy and play friend, play family, play whoever they are to me, and then they slither away, and then they do what snakes do, right? And I can't welcome that in my life. So it's not all them, though. I recognized I gave them the ammo, I gave them the details, I gave them the intel that they had been fishing for, and then it was used against me, right? So that's why I'm just tired of talking, right? Your silence is making a lot of noise. Your silence, you saying nothing, it could be unusual for you. I know for me, it's highly unusual that for somebody who's as talkative as me, I would just stop talking to certain folks about certain things, but I had to, because it was starting to backfire on me. It was starting to make me uncomfortable and miserable in my own life when I'm thinking I'm trying to build real connections. I'm thinking I'm just divulging information with people that I could trust, or I'm thinking I'm just, what's the word? Just sharing intimate details, or just venting to a trusted individual, and you realize a lot of these people you cannot trust. A lot of these people you cannot tell anything to. It will backfire because these individuals don't have your best interest at heart, and they're trying to play a game. And I had to learn that, like, stop talking to certain people. Don't say certain things to certain folks because it may seem sweet on the surface, but often a lot of these individuals move like snakes, right? They kind of move like a little bit shaky and a little bit sly, and it is very uncomfortable for me to live my best life amongst these groups of individuals, people who behave this way. And so it's that's how it could be. Your silence is making an appearance. Your silence is very noticeable now. Your silence is very loud now, and people are hoping and wishing that maybe you'll just turn the volume up a little bit and start telling them what they need to know, and start speaking again, start speaking to them again, start telling them things they got to know or what they really want to know. And you're probably not budging because you realize the patterning. Humans know patterns, right? If you see that every time you talk to somebody and something negative happens and it relates to what you spoke to them about or what you told them about, the patterning would show us to stop telling that person certain things, because obviously when you do, things go awry, things turn left, things go left. So your silence is deafening. Your silence is making a lot of noise. People are uncomfortable by this sudden change of demeanor as it relates to you, right? So you probably had your reasons why you had to do it, and it's not a bad thing. And I have had people hit me up and be like, oh, I don't hear from you anymore. Or I don't really, we don't really talk anymore. And I don't really know what to say, right? Because it's like, they know why. Why do I have to explain to another grown person why, right? Why? You guys know why, right? So let's keep it at that. And let me live my life. Let me move on. Right? Because or people notice that there's a shift in my demeanor, in the sense that I'm not telling them the same kind of things, or I'm keeping things a lot more vague. And I've had to do that with people in recent years, keeping things so much more vague. If I see you, I see you, dunzo, There's nothing else to elaborate on. There's nothing else to go deeper on. And they were expecting that because I was like that with them in the past. So they noticed this big change in my demeanor, my personality around them. I move different, and I hold details back that I don't wish for them to have. I don't wish for them to know. I don't want them to know me like that, right? So that's how it is sometimes. Let it be known in the comments if you feel like your silence is making a lot of noise and people are noticing that you're not talking about certain things with them anymore, or you're just not talking to them in general, like you're just not wanting to divulge any information to them anymore. Let it be known if this is something you're experiencing in your life. What were the reasons that you had to go silent on people around you? What was the reason? Was there snakiness happening in the background? Was there betrayal, right? Was it a dangerous situation? Was it something that you were were you feeling threatened, right? Which is why you had to stop telling people your information or stop telling people all your details. Let it be known. Thank you guys so much for joining me on the Mindset Elevator. Keep going up, everybody. I love you guys so much. Stay elevating.